Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 105, going through my vinyl collection, an album a day. Today we're talking about the second album from this band. The first one I covered, I think, was in episode 30, so a little ways ago, and one of my favorite albums. I've listened to it many times. This came out originally in 1980. My copy is a 2015 reissue, unfortunately incomplete. We'll get to that, but I'm talking, of course, about Scorpions' Animal Magnetism. I used to call them the Scorpions because that's what I thought their name was, but as I was looking at the records, I realized it's just Scorpions. Makes sense. I've been stung by one. They suck. I highly recommend not doing that. I think I rated them 1 star on Yelp. But anyway, nice album cover, slightly suggestive, not as suggestive as some of their other album covers, I will admit, but very well done, just the same. Not sure what the dog's involvement is in all this, and I kind of adds really more questions than anything else. This is the 50th anniversary, somewhat deluxe edition. Unfortunately, my copy did not come with the additional CD that features 5 previously unreleased tracks, so I'm going to have to get a hold of that at some point because I love the music on this album, and I'd love to hear what else was on it, or what else could have been on it. It's tough, especially, I mean, we're talking 1980, so we're talking still in the era of vinyl, where space was very limited. Had this come out, 10 years later on CD, they probably would have put all 5 songs on there and just made it a much bigger album, because that's the way things went. Once you had more space, you filled it. Love the graphic on this, by the way. Love the color scheme, the gentle purple with the Scorpions logo, slight fainted album cover in the back. Definitely 180 gram vinyl. Very nicely done. On the back, we have a, I don't know, slightly different shot of her, because look at her eyes here, and then look at her eyes there. So slightly different take on the same shot, and obviously taken from a slightly different angle. I know I'm probably making you dizzy here. I'll knock that off. But yeah, very, very interesting. Still want to know what the dog is all about, but they're at the beach, so who cares? Maybe he's just a beach dog that came along. Have a beautiful cover slip. Again, they just cannot get enough of this image. I don't know why, but they really like it, and they just put it everywhere they possibly could. So yeah, we got lyrics, all the good stuff, information on the band and all that. But the real gem, as always, and the reason I buy these things, is the music. We've got some great songs on this album, seriously. We open up with Make It Real. Really good track. Not your typical rock and roll album that has to come out with something hard and heavy. The Scorpions weren't always about that. They just wrote really good songs, and this is a really good opener. Doesn't really push your face in, which is fine. Don't Make No Promises. That's where it picks up. So you just get the intro, and then right after that, they're in your face. Hold Me Tight, great song. 20th Century Man, one of my favorites. I love the sound of that. This is one of those Christmas songs for me. It was a song that I used to listen to on my my Christmas playlist when I would wait for my dad to come home to work so that we could go over to my grandparents' house for Christmas Eve. Definitely love that. And the following track, one of their best, Lady Starlight. Absolutely beautiful ballad. Love the solo at the end of the song that takes you into the fade out. It's very emotional, very beautifully done. One of my favorite guitar solos, and it's really simple. It's not flashy or anything. It's just really good playing, and I'm more about emotion than flash anyway. So that ends side 1. Beautiful way to end side 1. Side 2, and I would argue that Lady Starlight would have been a great way to end the album if they didn't end the album the way they did, and we'll get there. Side 2 features Falling in Love. Again, much like side 1, it starts off with a kick, but not a real big kick, just a good tempoed song, heavy, but not in-your-face pounding rock and roll. Then we get to Only a Man, follows right along that pattern. Really good song. One of Klaus's best, I think, on this album. One of. We'll get there. Next, we get The Zoo. Great song. Love the vocal harmonies on this one. The riff is great. It's just a killer track. And then our final track, I think, is probably the sexiest song and best lovemaking song maybe ever written that I'm aware of. I mean, there's millions of songs I've never heard, but I have heard a lot of songs too. the patience of this song, the intensity of this song, Klaus's vocal, the reverb. I mean, everything just comes together beautifully. And I'm talking, of course, about the title track, Animal Magnetism. Excellent song. I mean, this whole album, top to bottom, is just fantastic. There's not a bad track on here. I mean, every once in a while, I might not be in the mood for like "Hold Me Tight" or even well, Never Falling in Love. I don't think I've ever skipped that, but Only a Man might be one I would skip every once in a while. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with this album at all. Top to bottom, it's excellent. Beautiful 180-gram version. Really glad I have it. Still a little mystified by the album cover, but what are you gonna do? Hopefully I'll get that other CD at some point and get to hear the other 5 songs that were unreleased tracks. I've never heard any bonus tracks from this, so I'll be very interested to hear what it's all about. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I hope that you have a wonderful day. What is it? Thursday, I think. They all just blend together for me at this point, but I believe it's Thursday and heading towards the weekend. It's a little chilly, but a lovely day here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.